Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 153, and my name is Jason Erpelding. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and DVC.com.
And today is January 10th, 2024. So your 11th-month window is December 10th, 2024, and the 7th-month window is August 10th, 2024. Hopefully the new year is starting off well for you. As always, for your DVC reservations, or if you need to run out your points, it's DVC-Rental.com. Remember the dash to save the cash. And if you're looking to sell your DVC, or if this is the year you want to purchase some more points, it's buyandsell.dvc.com. And remember, on buyandsell.dvc.com, we do have a DVC point calculator, so you can plug in your different check-in and check-out dates, and then it'll show you how many points you need for each type of vacation that you would go on. That's a perfect way to start out if you're new to DVC, to see how many points you're going to need. And it also, if you do that and you're not on DVC-Rental, that's going to give you an idea of the cost of the rental. Because if you check and it's, this stay is 140 points, another one's 180, another one's 220, I mean, the lower the points, the lower the cost it's going to be on the rental side. And on the buy and sell side of things, it's just, I just have some details on, this is Disney Vacation Club has shared details on the 9 properties scheduled for in-room villa refurbishments through 2024 and 2025. Now, I don't know what percent of people make their reservations based on this information. I'm assuming it's a very small amount, but 2024, it's Hilton Head, Boardwalk, and Vero Beach. 2025, it's Bay Lake Tower, Animal Kingdom, Copper Creek, Saratoga Springs, Grand Cal, and Animal Kingdom.
They're not messing around in 2025.
And in 2025, from January to May, Stormalong Bay will be closed.
That's going to upset some people.
That's going to upset a lot of people because, like I say at the beginning, I don't think a lot of people pay attention to this.
You can still stay in the rooms when they're doing refurbishment, and there could be some noise during hours. However, if the pool is closed, and
and you don't know about it,
the most desired pool on property is closed for 4+ months, and you don't know about it, you are not going to be happy.
Yeah, you're going to have. I mean, I don't know, because again, if the Vero Beach pool is closed now, as of 2 days ago to the end of March. And, there's some people that I'm sure that are going to be checking in that don't know that it's closed. So, Disney can only do so much as far as letting you know, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's really, again, I share this because to me, this is good news. Like Disney never throws in the towel. They're constantly, they don't say, oh, we have all these members, we don't need to do anything. No, they're constantly updating the rooms, and they have the rooms for the reserves for replacements, so this can get done and look nice, and you can enjoy your villa.
Yeah, a lot of people will complain about refurbishments while they're happening, but think of all the other hotels that you've ever gone to that you sit there and after a while they just look really run down, and you're like, this has not been touched. It's kind of getting trashy. Disney's always going above and beyond, trying to make everything better and make everything cleaner looking, or as fashions change, they'll change stuff around, or they put in the Murphy beds, or they're making the TVs bigger and nicer, and they're always updating it. So as an owner, at least you sit there and one of the things you go, okay, is you see where a lot of your maintenance fees are going. They're paying for the great cast members, and they're paying for a lot of stuff around the property. But when you see them doing these refurbishments, you sit there and you at least go, okay, you know what? Disney's not they're legally even allowed to, but Disney's not just taking this money and holding on it. They're putting it into something. They're putting it, as you're paying all the great cast members, but they're putting it back into the resort. So it's kind of like if you're refurbishing something in your own home, or if you have a rental property, that money comes in. You do something. You sit there and you feel, okay, it cost me a lot of money, but I redid the cabinets, and they're really nice. And you feel like you're getting something in return instead of just like they're taking my money and I don't know where it's going. On these refurbishments, you go, this is where it's going. They've made so many nice improvements.
And I mean, people may or may not be aware. I mean, Disney, they keep ownership of 2% of the resort, I believe is the number. And then there's cash reservations that they have. So in a way, this is one of those times where it's nice that there's Disney has cash reservations, because Disney is not only doing it for the members, but they're also doing it because, again, they don't want the person that's paying the cash to them to have a bad experience. Of course, we like to think it's all about the members.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
you're paying $800 a night for a room, and you walk in there and it looks a little bit shoddy. You have some really upset people paying a lot of money for that.
yeah, so I mean, that's where, to me, it's another.
Very good point.
Yeah, thank you. And now we're on to the food of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
For today's food of the week is my first time going to Amorette's Patissier in Disney Springs. Have you ever gone there before?
I have not, no.
I walked in previously. I never actually got anything. It's on the expensive side. They always have really beautifully decorated like cakes and desserts and stuff like that. And I just realized now that I don't know if it's more of a more recent thing, but they have a lot of like lunch items and stuff as well. Like you get like ham and cheese on like a baguette and stuff. Like they have a lot of different foods as well. This was for Christmas. They got the gingerbread cheesecake for $9. Small little cheesecake for $9. The $9 part was really, really rough. I'll tell you that right now. But so it's cheesecake with gingerbread spice, chantilly cream, bourbon caramel sauce. They asked if we wanted bourbon in it. It was my wife and I. We said we did not want bourbon in it. So they should have dropped the price when they didn't put the bourbon in it. Now, this was completely out of this world. This was a like thick, creamy New York style cheesecake, perfect amount of gingerbread flavor. Around it, it had like a chocolate, like like for like magic shell and ice cream. It had like a hard, crispy little like Rice Krispies inside, like chocolate around it. This was the best dessert I have ever had on Disney property. See, last week you complained I started off the new year with the bad cannolis. They got, I think, a 5.3. This is still expensive for the price, but you definitely need, this is around when you come down here. If this is around next year, I don't know how long they're keeping this for, if they do a different version of it, if it's still available right now. Again, I got this before Christmas, but this was wonderful. 9.6, pretty sure it's the highest I've ever given anything. This was, for the price, meh. However, you have to try this.
Without the bourbon, then keep the 9 to 6.
We did without the bourbon.
If we don't know,
I don't know. It's like I'm not a big bourbon guy. I'm not a big drinker, and I'm definitely not a big bourbon guy. So if you like bourbon, you might sit there. You might sit there and go, it took away from it. You might say with the bourbon, 9.9. This is the greatest thing I've ever had. But I'll tell you now, without the bourbon, this was the best dessert I've ever had on Disney property. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, that's great news. Now we're on.
Before we move on, we also got a second item there as well that I'm just a little tease. Second item, I'll be talking about that in another week or so or something like that.
Now we're on to the DVC rental side of things.
I was so busy talking, I forgot to change my page. I didn't know what I'm talking about. Yes. So, similar to you and your top 4 basketball.
Football playoffs.
Your football playoffs. I'm very sorry. In our Disney Vacation Club Resales DVC group, I put out there, we're going to do the DVC Weekly show. We're going to ask, what is your favorite Walt Disney World resort? We had about 150 people reply to it. So I'm going to go try to...
Oh, I just noticed it said Walt Disney World. Sorry.
I was going to mention that.
Sorry.
Walt Disney World Resort. So
that's key to hear, guys. Key. Walt Disney World.
That got 0 percentage wise, even though it did have 1 vote, was Jason adding Vero Beach on his own.
I didn't realize it was Walt Disney World till just now.
So second lowest at 2% back, shocking to me, Grand Floridian only got 2% back out of all the votes. Above that was Saratoga Springs at 7%. So Saratoga Springs, the one that takes all the heat, had more than 3 times as many votes as Grand Floridian, which I can't believe Grand Floridian was the lowest, considering that's their flagship resort, and it's an absolutely beautiful resort, great location. I don't know how this scored 2%, but it did. So Saratoga Springs, Bay Lake Tower also at 7%. Another great resort, super location by Magic Kingdom, easily walkable. 8% right above it, Riviera. 9% Old Key West. And then you start getting 10% is Polynesian, all the way down at 10%. Now, it was split out, there's a lot of resorts here. So that's a 10%. 11% Animal Kingdom, which is my second favorite. 12% people still loving Boulder Ridge and Copper Creek, which is Wilderness Lodge. Then a little jump up here, Beach Club at 16%. And then surprising winner at 18%, my Boardwalk, which I voted for Boardwalk as well. So Boardwalk is the overall winner, like 150 votes of best Walt Disney World resort that they've.
That's surprising.
I'm shocked by it. I love Boardwalk, as you know. But I figured, there's ones that are, more expensive. I figured Polynesian, Grand Floridian were going to get a lot of votes. I was surprised that Boulder Ridge was as high as it was. I mean, I knew Beach Club would be up there. People love Beach Club. It's a very small resort. But I'm shocked that Boardwalk coming in at the highest one, 18%. Almost 1 out of every 5 people chose Boardwalk.
Yeah, that's very surprising to me.
Yeah.
And it really, it shows you the diversity of Disney Vacation Club. Like, the program is so unique in that, the resorts are, different location, different themes, different style. It's not like
nobody blew anybody away.
Right.
Grand Floridian, ran away with 42% of the vote. Everything was probably just a few votes away, except for Vero Beach. Everything was a few votes away. So it just shows you that, as you mentioned, it's very diverse. People appreciate the diversity as well. It's not like, again, and that's one of my favorite things about, Disney Vacation Club is that, there's lots of choices, and every time I don't want to go to Boardwalk. I love switching up with Animal Kingdom or Bay Lake Tower with some of the views, especially with the theme park views. I love switching up the resorts.
Especially one day, you think about Bay Lake Tower. Let's say one day you're lucky enough to have a grandchild. Mm-hmm. You're just going to want to take the stroller, go across the street to Magic Kingdom, be there for 4 hours, come back, let the child take a nap.
Super convenient. My favorite thing about Bay Lake Tower, and I think it was when we were young, we had the kids with strollers, is that we would stay, this is before I was local, so we would absolutely make sure that we watched the fireworks, and then everybody rushes to the gates. And we would rush out too. And by the time you got out there, the monorail line would be 600 people deep or so. And to sit there and, walk out and see that huge line and just go left and see all the people running for the buses, and you just have this nice little walkway back, and like you'd be walking and there's barely anybody with you. It's quiet and dark back there. And it's just really, really peaceful. And you can hop on the monorail, and it's about a 45-second ride on the monorail over to Contemporary, which is attached to Bay Lake Tower. But I see you sit there and you go, there's probably a 45-minute wait for that monorail, and we're just and you're going to be packed in like sardines. You can sit there with the stroller, holding the stroller and trying to hold on to the pole or whatever to try to make sure you don't fall over. And I was like, this is just such a more relaxing walk back. It's one of my favorite things about Bay Lake Tower.
Sorry, I didn't mean to change your thought there as you were.
That's absolutely fine. You got anything?
I don't know if you were going to add anything, or
I don't have really too much else besides, again, you mentioned the diversity. I'm surprised Boardwalk won. I am shocked Grand Floridian only had 2%. Please do us a favor. If you're watching this, go in the comment section, and if you haven't voted on anything, tell us what your favorite resort is, or if you want, tell us why you think Grand Floridian only scored 2% and is besides the Vero Beach, which is not really a Walt Disney World resort. So let's forget that. And a lot of people don't know Vero Beach, even though we talk about it all the time. If you take away Vero Beach, the Walt Disney World resorts, how is Grand Floridian the lowest out of anything? Their flagship, their most expensive, on the monorail, boat over to Magic Kingdom, all the restaurants that they have there. How is this the lowest? So if you've got any ideas,
that's surprising for all 3 monorail resorts to be.
All 3 monorail resorts, Grand Floridian, the most elegant one, the most beautiful at Christmas time. Citricos, Narcoossee's, you know, the 1900 Park Fair when it's open, Grand Floridian Cafe, and there's so much stuff going on over there. Beautiful pools. How is this the least favorite?
Shocking. Be sure to leave your comments on your favorite resorts, and be sure to come back next week and check us out.
We appreciate you watching and love you all. Thank you very much.